Welcome everybody to this Helpful Village release webinar of August 28th, 2025. And we have an exciting program today because we have been working extra hard. So we're happy to see you with us. And let's get started right away. This is the agenda of the meeting. We're going to start with some reminders. There are just some news and announcements that we're making. And then we have a special topic today. We're going to be talking about the new server infrastructure. So we have been discussing on Slack and things about different measures we have been taking to make our servers more performant and stable and everything. And then we want to explain here what has this work been over the last 5 weeks. We just finished. We have spent 5 weeks working on it uninterrupted. Weekend included. So I'm very happy that we just finished with this new server work. You don't need to understand every single technical detail about it, but we're happy to share basically the work we have been doing about that. And after that, we will be discussing about new features that will be introduced this month also. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Before that, we're going to start with some reminders. First reminder, this is a release webinar where we're making announcements of the work that Helpful Village has been doing. New training docs, new features, new servers, new things. It's happening today, but next week it's going to be You Are the Stars. And then basically you can send us all your questions and we're here to answer all your questions. So it's a Q&A Helpful Village session on August 27th. And then there will be another Helpful Village release webinar next month in September. That will be September 17th, third Wednesday of the month. You can see here on screen a few useful resources you should know about. I like when our team copies that into our chat so that if you don't have these links, you should have them. So basically Slack, the Helpful Village Training Docs Guide, and the Help Center. Those are resources you should be aware of. And we're going to copy those links into the chat at the same time for you. For the Q&A webinar that is taking place next week. So you are all invited to participate. We're happy to see you there. We would like to invite you to send us your questions ahead of time, because when you do that, we can schedule them and put them in the agenda of the meeting. We can also think about the possible answers and prepare resources. So if you can send your questions to our team as soon as possible, you can do that to hvusers@helpfulvillage.com. Our team will receive those questions, put them into a Q&A document, and then they're in the oven for me to basically go during the meeting and answer as many questions as I can. It's a quick reminder about how to submit your requests through our Help Center. You can go to support.helpfulvillage.com. There you will find all our training documents. And then if you don't find the answers in our training documents, you can submit a request on the top right bottom corner of your screen. And that will allow you to create a ticket. And when we get a ticket, we put ourselves to work and then try to find the best answer for your questions. There are two resources that are a little different. The Helpful Village Center, we're speaking about, is under support.helpfulvillage.com. That's where you find all our training documents. It's also where you can report any issues or bugs or problems you have. If you are submitting an improvement idea, something that is not a bug, not a problem, just something that could be done better, you can go to ask.helpfulvillage.com. Just a few quick recommendations when you're submitting your tickets or asking help from our support team. Just please be clear and descriptive when you're using the ticket. Sometimes people just send messages in saying, well, I have a problem or things are not working. Well, that doesn't help us find a solution. So it's better when you can tell us what the problem is about, when did that happen, what button did you press. You can give us specific details about on what screen, on what button did you press. Sometimes you can consider adding a screenshot so that we can quickly understand. Sometimes we spend time coming back to you, asking you to describe the problem. And then if we can avoid that, we can serve you better. There is also some work Anastasia is doing, converting some of our customers to automatic payments. Every month we spend too much time coming to some customers forgot to pay an invoice, and then there's an email going back and forward, etc. And then if we can put everyone on automatic payments, we can spend more time working on your tickets and on your improvements. So if you want to set that up, there is a training document on the Helpful Village Center, or if you can also set up an appointment with Anastasia, she can help you set up these automatic payments if you prefer. These are automatic payments of your Helpful Village invoices, so automatic payments from your organization to Helpful Village, not to your members. Okay, that's it. That was reminders. So I know I was speaking quickly, but at the same time, those reminders, you know about them, so I can do that quickly. So we're gonna go into news, and we have only good news today. First good news is that we have 3 new villages joining our family, and basically those villages are the following. We have a village collective that is started by the city of Coppell, Texas, and we have a new village that is starting in Hawaii, and they're in development right now. Julia, I don't know if she's on the call. And then we have Village Central, which is a village in Columbus, Ohio, that is also starting, and we're excited about their development. So we wanted to welcome all 3 villages. We have more good news is that we have a 1 year anniversary because today it has been, it's not today, what technically was yesterday, is Anastasia has been with our team for a full year, which is a lot. Basically, she needs to be around Crazy Manuel for a very long time, a whole year that I don't know how she does it. And then basically, she has been a very dedicated member of our team, helping our customers with customer success, helping bridge the communication between our customers and our technical team. And then basically she is the person that had managing all contact with our customers. She set up all the presentation, and I'm very thankful for all the contributions and help she provides to the company. So this is the first year of many, I hope. Congratulations, Anastasia. And then she is gonna say a word maybe about it. And then she has also some work she had been working on with Paulina. So there is also a presentation about an example of the contribution she has made to our company and an exciting project they are working on together, Paulina and Anastasia. So Anastasia, whenever you want, I'm going to mute myself for a minute and then you can go
on. Thank you very much, Manuel, for congratulations. I'm very excited and I'm learning a lot. It's been a journey. And yes, as I mentioned, a lot of learnings, and I'm doing my best to provide a good customer success and even much more, making the processes more efficient, so that all the clients can feel how our software is getting better every day and how our services are improving every single day. And as a part of this work, we created a guide. So we updated a guide. Before we had a guide that didn't have a good structure. So we felt that we have to help our clients to find answers for a much easier way, because our software is like digital ecosystem that it's constantly changing and improving, and we're adding new features. So we wanted to help you to find the answers in seconds. And we created a new structure so that guides you from the most basic and the most important features and things you have to do in the platform to more advanced ones. So this makes the learning curve easier and helps villagers quickly find the instructions and the answers to your questions. And thank you. So we warmly invite you to participate in improving our training guide because it's very important, your feedback, and we will add all the necessary training docs and continue building and refining this guide together. You can use our Google form that we're going to put on our website and inside of the training guide. So you can fill out this form and let us know in case you don't find an answer or you didn't find a training doc. So we will support you and create a new one. So we will make better our training guide, and we will cover everything that everybody needs to be successful using our platform. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to share the document with you, and just let me give me 1 second. Oh, you're going to share, Manuel, or me?
I can show it for a minute on the screen, but I think it's better if we put it on the chat.
Yes, I will put it on the chat, but before doing that, I would love to share the document and to guide you a little bit and explain how to use it. It's very easy, and we recommend to use Command F if you have Mac or Control F if you have PC, and you can use you can locate by keyword the necessary document. For example, if I would like to find anything about Stripe, so I just type Stripe and I will find all the trading documents that are related to Stripe and so on. So that's, I think it's important to know. And we have this image. So this image reflects the faces. We recommend this structure for building your village in this order, or you can change the order. It's very flexible. So you can associate it with the building of your village with our functional modules we offer on our platform. And we divided the guide by phases according on these modules. So you can, if you scroll down, we start with a phase 1, that is building the website. And we put the most important steps or things you normally would have to do first. So you can have a really nice learning curve starting from the basic things and getting to more advanced things. Here we are covering the menu manager, how it works, public menu versus private menu, and etc. And you can find the phase 2 about everything about email management. And as I mentioned, you can search by word, so it would help you immediately, like in seconds, to find the answer. So at the beginning, we put like I forgot to mention that you can click to each training doc. So if you click to the training doc, it would transfer you to this part. So in this part, we put a short explanation, like technical explanation, where you have to click. And also there is a training doc where you can see the screenshots and more details if it's needed, if you're like more visual learner. So you can check all the screenshots and see the same steps, but with a little bit more details. And here just the summary. So please, we hope you enjoyed. And one important part, if you could share the presentation, the next slide in our presentation, Manuel, please. So we invite you to collaborate with us and let us know if you find anything. For example, YouTube is deleting our videos because they think that the data we're showing, the phone numbers and emails, in demo account, they're real, but they're not real, they're invented. So that's why they're deleting some videos in YouTube. So let us know, we can create new videos. And they're doing it every day. So it's very difficult to catch them because we have many videos in YouTube. So please let us know everything we can improve. We would be happy to do so. And thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Anastasia. So I will add a few words. Thank you for explaining overall how it works. And I would just add 2 lines to that. Basically, if you can share this document onto the chat, people can start looking at it. We will update the link on our website so that everyone can see what this training docs guide is. But then another thing that I wanted to say, right, is that the training docs guide works in conjunction with the help center, right? So basically, the actually explanations and details are in the help center that you know, so support.helpfulvillage.com. And then when you come here, you can also search on the help center. You can search on both places. My personal feeling was that The Help Center here did not necessarily provide a good overview of everything that was present. We had actually the same 6 phases that are here, getting started, promote your village, etc. But then I think there is this complement. It's really useful to understand the overall picture of Helpful Village, phase by phase, and also understanding that for each one of the modules, there are many things that you can do. So basically, the way I see this is that the training docs guide is sometimes like a table of contents for the whole document library that lives in the Help Center in support helpfulvillage.com. So it's not, they don't replace each other, they actually complement each other. So I'm really excited about this. So from now on, if you have questions, there is something you don't know how to do in Helpful Village, we're hoping that you can go refer to the Helpful Village guide, and that will lead you to answers on the Helpful Village Help Center, support.helpfulvillage.com. So this document is something we have been working on. I also wanted to mention that Paulina has been working very hard on this document because there was a lot of thought into reorganizing and creating a learning experience. In the past, we used to have many of these training documents, but basically we were building them along the way as we were receiving questions. And now we thought we have designed a much better learning experience. If you're a new village, and even if you're in an advanced village, you will also have a chance to find that information a lot easier using this training. Okay, so that's a very exciting project we are happy to share with you. And I wanted to thank our team, because I was not involved with this. So this was Anastasia and Paulina that did all the work. So that I am really, really excited and happy about this. Perfect. And now that I told you about stuff I did not do, I will transition to stuff that I did. So basically, there is a presentation now about the new server work that we have been doing. So the next section of our today's presentation is for your information. It's part of the culture of our company to be very transparent about things that we do. So we wanted to share some of the work that we have been doing to serve you better. You don't need to understand every single detail. If you're not interested in some of these tech aspects, you don't need to. You can keep using the platform or the software. But if some of you have, an appreciation for technical aspects and understanding the type of work that we're doing, you're welcome to go along. And then if you have a question, we can discuss about that. Now, why are we working on servers? Well, we have been working on servers because we have grown from a small company, that was created 10 years ago. And when you have one customer, well, basically any kind of server just works because there is a small level of activity. But basically, as Helpful Village has been developing, it was time now to build a more solid server infrastructure. So in the beginning, Helpful Village was serving only a few clients, and we had a very minimal system infrastructure that was easy to set up. Now, as our community of villages has grown, our platform receives a lot more traffic. There is a lot more interactions, and therefore our servers were under stress. And it was time to set up a professional and efficient infrastructure. So this is a natural evolution of the company. I need to tell you that in 10 years, we have had new machines, but with the same server infrastructure, with the same basically design of the servers, just new machines. And now we have changed completely the server infrastructure, the plan, the tools that we're using so that we have a much more professional and efficient infrastructure. So we're going to go over this. The end result that you get is that you will have a stronger performance. Basically, the website is now a lot faster. We have reduced memory usage, and the servers will be more stable. Because basically, if we use less memory, the server doesn't crash, and then therefore there's no service interruption. So these are some explanations of what we have been working on. In the past, we had some of these words I just mentioned. If you don't get the detail of each one of them, doesn't matter too much, but it's basically we were using before a web server and an app server that were easy to set up and configure, right? We wanted to get the company started, so we wanted to focus on developing the application, and then servers is something that we could do a little later. So they were easy and they were working, but they were not optimized for performance. And that translated into higher chance of delays, interruptions, and basically a lower service. And now it was time to upgrade all of that. So we have restructured our web servers, app servers, and database servers. So again, give you, a quick description of what's the difference between these servers. A server is just basically a piece of machine or a piece of software that is giving you a response. And there are different types of these servers. The web server is essentially a server that is specialized in sending just a web page, so text and pictures back to you. And then an app server is a little different. It's what is a server that is doing the calculations. For example, when we are calculating your membership dues or your fees or sending the email, all of that is that logic is run by an app server. And then there is also a DB server, which is a short for a database server. That's where all the information is stored. So basically, when you're running Helpful Village, for you, it just looks like a web page. But basically, in the back, there are different servers that are doing different parts of the work that are necessary to have your service going. So this change that we have done improved the speed, reliability, and stability of our servers. So you might have noticed, but basically the works is just running faster now, which is always a good thing. Now we have some details about how we did it. Again, if you don't care about these things, you don't need to remember anything of what I'm saying. We're just being transparent so that you have an idea of the smart ideas we have put in place to serve you better. So when we have a server running Village or Village software, essentially it was serving we have three workers per server. And the names of these workers were interactive, asynchronous, and scheduled. So basically, in order to serve a village, we have interactive pages. Those are the web pages. When you go online, you go with your browser and you do yourvillage.helpfulvillage.com. Basically, we need to send you, you click on a button and then the pages give you a response, etc. And so that's the interactive part. You're interacting with the server directly through a browser. And we have a worker on the server that is working on that. But then there is other type of work. It's basically the synchronous type of work, asynchronous from the Greek, I guess, which is not at the same time that you're clicking on it. And that we do that for some tasks that are generating, that take a lot of time. For example, if you're generating a full report of every person in the database, maybe you have 5,000 people in your database, that is something that doesn't take 5 seconds. So in order to avoid the browser timeout, you have noticed when you're using Helpful Village that some of these tasks are put in the background so that you can keep using the browser and moving on to different things, right? And basically you're saying, okay, I want to produce the full people report. You request it, and then basically the system is going to be working in the background, and then it's going to be sending you an email when that report is ready. So those are the type of asynchronous work. So basically at this time we have these two different workers in the server. There is a worker that is serving you the interactive pages in real time, and there is another worker that is doing this background task like generating reports. And there's a third type of tasks that are being accomplished. Those are the scheduled tasks. So basically, Helpful Village runs a number of daily tasks or weekly tasks that happen on a scheduled basis. For example, when you send the daily volunteer emails, it's every day. The server wakes up at 9 a.m. and then basically it's going to see for each volunteer if there's something they can do and produce an email that goes out to them. That is not something that you start or you trigger clicking on a button. That's something that the server does, the worker at the server does, just based on a schedule. I know we have some techies in our group, so you should know that basically we were doing this in all this infrastructure with cron. Cron is just for Chronos, I guess, from the Greek. It's a popular method to schedule jobs from the OS operating system way. So I'm sure that some of the techies in our group have used cron before. And that was working, except it was a third worker. So basically, in order to serve a village, we had one worker for interactive, we had another worker for asynchronous, and we had another worker for scheduled jobs. Now, each one of these workers, you can think as if they were kind of little ants, right, doing the job, and you had 3 ants per server doing part of the work. But each one of the ants is consuming resources, consuming CPU, and is consuming memory. So you need to feed them. So it's a little better to have fewer workers on a server. So something we have done this month, and some of the improvements we have done on the server side is coming now. So what we have done is, instead of having 3 workers per server, we have 2 workers, because we have combined the asynchronous and the scheduled workers so that they do 2 types of jobs. So we still have 1 worker that is taking care of the interactive pages. So when you click on a button, we have one of our ants that is, taking your request, producing that page and sending it back to you. And then But we have combined the asynchronous and the scheduled worker. Instead of having two different workers, two different ants that were consuming resources, we only have one worker that is doing all the reporting and is also doing all the scheduled tasks. So that means that we have fewer workers per server, we're consuming less memory, and therefore, for that reason, the server is more stable and has better performance. Okay, there is another task that we did this month, is that we replaced this worker that was doing the background task. And this is how we also were able to combine them into only one worker. Before, we were using this tool that you don't need to remember. It was called Delayed Jobs. And we replaced it with a better tool that is called Sidekick. And you don't remember, it's just the name of the brand of the server that does it. And it's a kind of the same approach that I was explaining before for the general server landscape. Delayed Job is a tool that was quick, simple, and is good for a small app with low background job volume. Just basically a tool that was easier to configure, that did the job. But basically, as we have grown the company into a more popular company with a lot of customers, we have upgraded it now to Sidekick, with this tool that is an industry standard for serious Rails apps, kind of more production-like, faster, more efficient, and scales well. So we needed to replace kind of the Delayed Job server that was doing the job with the Sidekick server, which is just a lot better. And this is along the same lines, offers stronger performance, better speed, reduced memory usage, and basically the servers are also more stable. Our server infrastructure is a lot better. We have spent a lot of time designing a much more advanced server infrastructure, and that is great. And in addition to the server infrastructure, the designing it, we have also done another important step this month, is that we have upgraded all our customers to these new servers. So we purchased new servers. We took everyone out of the old servers that we had before. We installed the new server infrastructure on the new servers, and then we moved all our customers already from the previous server infrastructure to the new server infrastructure. So everything we have been discussing is already in place. You should be reaping up the benefits of all the work that we have been doing. Now, I'm super excited, maybe because I'm a geek and a techie person, and I'm excited about the performance and the beauty of the server infrastructure. But for you, essentially, you need to remember to just get kind of better, faster service that is more reliable, that doesn't fall. I think we have talked about enough about this one. Just service will be better, service is going to be faster. Yes, there is another thing that I wanted to say. So I am super excited about these new servers. We are working on a much more professional infrastructure. Now, the infrastructure is also new, right? So there is some fine tuning. If you detect any kind of, I know we had a few emails. We want to thank Diane. She has been working with us. She has been very useful, because we had some, when we were setting up the new server, we had some minor hiccups, etc. I know there was something with the time zones, etc. And so just because we were setting up some new infrastructure, there were some configuration mistakes or things that happen. Those are mostly being taken care of. There is also maybe some fine tuning. If you see any incidents on the email, I think we're on much more solid grounds, but but it's also new. So there may be some minor adjustments that are necessary. So we're going to keep an eye on those. And then if you see anything, you want to report anything, please let us know. We will be making sure that our new servers are running like they should. With all of that, we're done with the server and the ultra tech speech that we had for today. We're going to move on to more digestible improvements. So we're going to move to the usual improvements we have done this month. These are software improvements that you will see on the user interface. So these are a lot easier to understand. And these improvements are not on your server yet. These are under the new normal server monthly deployment cycle, and this will go out not this weekend, because actually this weekend I'm out of town. It was my daughter's birthday, so we're gonna go out of town, maybe going to Disney, but don't tell her. And then so basically we're gonna deploy all these improvements the latest the weekend after this week. And these are the changes. Basically, one change is the CAPTCHA. So if you're familiar with the CAPTCHA is a weird word, but what it is basically the detection for the I'm not a robot. You can see on the right-hand side, right? So basically, you don't want to have a robot or a hacker or some piece of code that is creating users or registering for events. So basically, this is we're using a tool from Google that detects if the person interacting with the website, in particular when you're not logged in, right? We want to know if that person is a human or if it's a machine. And if it's a machine, we want to keep them out so that we don't let them pollute our database. Now, we were doing something before is that we were using some Google technology that was doing some detection if this was a robot. And then you were not seeing this checkbox right away, not on the membership and volunteer application form. And then if Google thought that this was a robot, then we presented the challenge, right? And then with the checkbox, and then you were presented with a puzzle if they still thought that you were a machine. But that added an additional step. I think it's a lot better if we just present the "I'm not a robot" checkbox on the membership application from the beginning, and then just instead of having two steps, just having one step with Google, and so that the page is not presented twice. I also wanted to mention that this checkbox also is the CAPTCHA. It's also something we present to people that are not logged in. So every time, service requests or anything, any interaction that you have, even the membership application form, if you submit a new one when you're logged in, we don't doubt that you're a human because you were able to log in, and therefore you have no change. There will be no CAPTCHA. This CAPTCHA only appears if you're not logged into the platform and you're using the membership or the volunteer application form. Okay, next improvement. This is a functional improvement. We were in discussion with one of our villages in Petaluma, California. And then basically they are inviting more of their members to make their membership payments with their ACH, basically via bank account. So we have villages that take membership payments via credit card and also ACH. If you take your payments via credit card, that's fine, that works. But basically, the credit card fees are higher. The membership fees Stripe takes for payment is 2.9% plus 30 cents, and there's also a small Helpful Village fee in addition to that. So you need to compare that 2.9% with the fees that you pay also to Stripe for a bank account payment. And instead of 2.9%, the bank account ACH fees are 0.8%. So that all of that is more money to your village if you have members that are ready to pay their membership dues instead of paying them via credit card. If they can pay them with ACH or the bank account, your village receives more money because you have lower fees. And if you want to do that, basically you can go to the pay tab of that person. There is a button that was add a bank account, and that existed before, but now in some cases, basically what happens when you add a bank account, we still need to verify that the person, your member, is actually the owner of that bank account. So what happens is that Stripe sends micro deposits to that member's bank account, and then you need to call your member, ask them if they received two small transactions, like these micro deposits, what were the amounts of those transactions. And then if they tell you, basically you can go back to Helpful Village, you can go back to the pay tab, you can find this button that says verify bank account, you enter the two micro deposit amounts, and then suddenly the bank account has been verified. And from that moment on, you can start taking ACH payments from your members. So yeah, it's a way to basically pay fewer fees for your payments. Okay, this one is a small change. This happened also on the user profile. If you go to the activity tab, you look at the bottom, you can see basically the emails that have been sent to this person, a member or volunteer or anything, invitation to renew. Some of these emails also happen with the automatic email templates. So it's good to have a look at this. And basically the small change that we did, we usually have a box around it, but we didn't in this case. Here in our initial version, we were saying send a message to this person. But we were discussing with our team and some customers, and we thought it was more clear if we said send email to this person. So this is just a wording change that we have in the platform, but just we thought it could make it a little easier to understand what we're talking about. This is maybe the biggest kind of, we were very busy this month with all the server work, etc. So there are 1,000 improvement to the software. But this one is probably the largest one. Is that when you're taking membership payments and people pay with a credit card, you had before the possibility for people to optionally cover the credit card fees. So basically, a person is interested in paying their membership fees, let's say of $100. There is an option in admin settings payment to invite the member to cover the payment processing fees. And if the member accepted to check that box, well, then basically they pay for the credit card fees, and the village receives a little bit more money. And now the change that we're adding in this monthly feature is that we are adding a setting for your village so that you can have this as mandatory fees. If you want to set it this way, your member, if they want to renew their membership online with their credit card, they will have to pay the processing fees. So you will still have the option as a village coordinator if you want to make this covering of the processing fees optional for your members, or if you want to make them mandatory for your members. So that's the new feature that is coming in this month. That's it. That's basically Q&A. We can go into Q&A, but before we do that, we usually had a slide, but I forgot to mention this one before. It's about the new features that we're working on for the next monthly release, and we have two things that are on the pipe that I can mention so that you can see them coming. One of them is that in the same way we said adding these processing fees price to membership payments, we're thinking about doing the same with ticket sales. So when people purchase event tickets, if they choose to pay them with a credit card, so that you also have a possibility to have mandatory credit card fees when people are purchasing these tickets. So that's one feature. And the other one is we are exploring the possibility to accept some terms from the village. It's something we're doing with a village in Florida. And basically the idea is that rather than having the paper trail of having your members accepting some terms and conditions from your village and doing that in just basically a PDF that you send them and they sign and you store, we're exploring the possibility to have that as a checkbox in Helpful Village, so that basically the member, when they sign up or at any given step on the interaction with Helpful Village, so that they can accept your legal terms and conditions, and then that's it. So that's just saving that other acceptance step. It's a checkbox, right? Accepting those terms. So that's pretty easy. But the work is not as easy as it sounds, because we need to keep track of what version of the document this person signed, right? Because if you have your legal terms and conditions, and those legal terms and conditions change over time, well, then the person has not accepted them. So there is a tracking in time of what are the terms and conditions they have accepted before. So there is a tracking of versioning and timing that is important. So that's a feature that seems pretty simple, like a checkbox, but there is more complexity behind the scenes. So we are working on that one so that we can bring it not this month, but possibly next month is something we're very interested in doing. Cool. So with all of that, I have finished my speech. I usually like coming back to our team because I don't track the chat. So I don't know, Anastasia, if there are any questions or particular points in the chat. We really like when villages interact with one another in the chat, so you're always free to do that. But I don't monitor it. So our team, when they see something in the chat that I should be made aware of, just let me know. We can bring it to the frontline discussion. Also, I'll go back to the team, Paulina and Anastasia. Did I forget anything that we wanted to mention today, or I think we have brought everything out?
Yeah, we've covered everything.
Okay. So that's all the information we had for you. If there are any questions about things that we discussed today, in particular for the server infrastructure or things, I'm happy to answer them. It can take 4 or 5 more minutes about things we discussed today. But we also have a Q&A webinar next week. So if you want to take more time, send your questions in writing so that we discuss them next week. You can also send those questions to hvusers@helpfulvillage.com. So you let me know if we have any hands going up. We can do those questions. If there are no hands going up, we will meet you again next week. I would need a glass of water, but I have no glass of water over here. Okay. And I'm very happy to see people again. It was 5 weeks working Windows Server. It was crazy.
There is a question from Barbara in the chat.
Okay, let me see.
Barbara, would you like to ask this question?
Yes, we use Stripe, like we have a separate web page that we have in WordPress, and we've set up all of our donations through that. So it goes from a form in our web page right into our Stripe account. But now, since we're going to start taking members and ask them to make donations, can we use the donate button in Helpful Village? Or will that add so much confusion? Because would we have to have two Stripe accounts then, or how would that work?
Yeah, so you can use the same Stripe account. So
Okay.
basically, Helpful Village will not be aware of any other transactions that don't happen on Helpful Village, right? So anything that, but I mean, those will go to your Stripe account. It would be paid the same, etc. And we definitely would invite you to to connect Helpful Village with the Stripe account, so that basically, because once you do that, right, and someone makes a donation or a membership payment, then you can go to the person profile, and then you will automatically see all the records of previous payment from this person, right? So that's the advantage of having that connected with Helpful Village. You can definitely do that, and it's not a problem to use the exact same one. So what we will do, that when we get off the call, I will ask Anastasia to send you. We have these training documents. I'm just smiling because we have the Trail Dogs guide that we put out to get today, and they are there too. So maybe we will end up receiving Trail Dogs guide. I don't know. And then from there you can follow those steps, and you can also work with our team. We will help you, connect Stripe with Helpful Village.
Okay, thank
And
you.
congratulations for taking those new members in.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're finally doing it.
Absolutely,
It's
we're excited for
exciting.
you. That's great, Barbara. Awesome. Okay, everybody, I don't see any more questions coming, and we're meeting next week anyway. So it was great seeing you, and we are happy to see you again next week. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.